Today we have very special speakers, actually good friends of mine, both Ron Eglin and Dave Spitzer, with a novel idea, a really cool idea. I want to call it a new photo sharing platform. Is that a fair way to describe it? So I will not steal any thunder. I'll let you kind of roll with it. And Dave, come on board, and Ron, are you getting up here or just?
I'm back here.
Okay, perfect.
Taking pictures.
Okay, you can use it.
Can I go here?
Is this up?
Okay. It's kind of weird to be pinned to a microphone stand, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is really fun. I love 1 Million Cups. I've been coming here since the very beginning, and it's fun because I feel like I know about 3/4 of the room, so it's kind of like presenting for all my friends. Really proud to share with you today GemSpots, and just a little preamble. My approach today and my goal today is really to have an interactive dialogue. I love this forum because we're looking for feedback. You'll see as we go through, we're fairly early in this process, and so here's a wonderful chance for us to get good questions from a lot of bright minds that are energetic and ready to help. So with that, let me share with you what we've been working on. So sending a photo to somebody is really easy, right? Just text it to me. It's easy. But what happens if you want to share 8 photos, or 10, or 12? Well, now you've got to break them down into a couple different chunks and send them on email, and it's a pain, and maybe I just won't send all those, or maybe I don't know which ones to send. So you've got this, it's different when you get to a bunch of photos. But what about if you want to share a bunch of photos with a bunch of people? Everybody shared the event, everybody was there, everybody wants to see the pictures. How do you do that? Do you email it to all of them? Do you text it to all of them? Do you have all their contact info? Do you want to? So, you're at a birthday party. I have young daughters. There's 6 or 8 children that my daughter loves, and there's a bunch of moms and dads that I may or may not know very well. And somebody got the best picture of the blowing out the candle on the cake thing. Mine, there was light in the background, my camera was exposed badly, my picture stinks, but I want the good one. Or somebody else was taking a picture while I was chatting. I don't necessarily want to get all those people's contact info. I don't want to be a jerk, but I don't know them that well. I don't need their cell phone number, right? So, okay. You go to a bar, or you go out for an event somewhere, and there's cool stuff happening. It's Halloween, it's St. Patrick's Day, it's New Year's Eve, people are being crazy. Photos are being taken at the bar, but I'm busy hanging out with my friends. I'm not taking a lot of pictures, but I kind of like to see what was going on and be able to go back and relive that. Might be cool to check that out afterwards. What if you're at a concert or a sporting event and you're loving it, but your seats are in the back? Did somebody down in the front get a better picture? And could you get a hold of that picture? Well, you don't know them on Facebook. That person's doing their own thing. You don't know them, but they might have an awesome picture. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to go and see that picture? So what if sharing was easier from events like these and others, for big events and small? The answer now is GemSpots. GemSpots has been created right here in Daytona Beach, actually more towards DeLand, to be honest with you. But it's a URL, so it's something you can load on your web browser very easily, gemspots.com. And I can tell you for myself, I keep that page open all the time in my Safari. I've got an iPhone, so in Safari there's always that page open. It will also be, and is very soon, an app. We have submitted for approval and compiling with Google's App Store. Apple takes a little bit more, so we're going through the motions with them, but very soon it will be an app that you can get, and so you can have that installed on your phone. And we've found that some people don't actually want to have more apps. There's too much on their phone, and so they kind of like the web platform. So it's pretty equivalent both ways, but GemSpots is here. So let's talk about what it is. First of all, it's GPS enabled and GPS based, largely. So you can find a GemSpot based on your location. If any of you pull out your phone, and I know a few of you will, and go to gemspots.com right now, you're going to see a GemSpot that I created. Your phone is going to ask you, do you want to use GPS positioning? You say yes. And boom, you're going to see a map with cinematique. And you click on that GemSpot and you'll see pictures. It's that easy. You can go straight to a GemSpot. I gave my GemSpot the name 1MC. So you can do gemspots.com/1MC or /whatever, /concert, football game, whatever the thing is. Boom, you go directly there. So you don't have to be there. It's not only GPS based, but it is in the way it functions. So you can go there, with a custom URL, and you can give it a custom URL. In fact, Ron has a GemSpot called gemspot.com/Ron Eglin, and it follows him around like a little personal cloud, but we'll come back to that. You can create your own GemSpot. You can see the pull-down menu right here, Create GemSpot, and when you do, you'll be asked to put in a location. If you want to put in an address, you can put in an address somewhere else. You can do it based on where you are. If you happen to know the latitude and longitude, you can put it that way, but the point is, you can create a GemSpot very easily, and then begin uploading to it. And start sharing. When the pictures start to stack up, there's a wonderful utility that we found that allows you to sort and present the pictures in a very pleasant format. So they automatically, depending on your screen size and what you're doing, they automatically become either 2 wide, 1 wide, 3 wide, whatever it is, based on the picture, the orientation. All that stuff is done completely automatically. You just start scrolling and you're seeing cool pictures. And they're all nicely sorted out. They've all got this nice little border. You can do it on a tablet. Now you might see them 4 wide. You can do it on your home computer. You can do that with a big screen. And you can certainly do it on your phone. This is a screenshot from the phone. All that is happening automatically. So you're seeing a nice scroll of all the pictures that are there. And then when you see a picture you like, you can download it, click on the picture, click download. It's now on your phone. You have that picture. Or if you're at home, click on it. It's on your hard drive. You can upload to it. If you've got pictures on your phone you want to add to the site, click on your pictures. You click on the upload, and it'll go and say, okay, from where? From your photo library. Pulls up your photo library. You click what you got. Boom, it's there. And then for share, it's shared through Facebook. It's shared through Dropbox, and possibly others. We have just yesterday received approval from Facebook. So we officially have the linkage. They recognize us as being real, and so the Facebook link is for real. So you can be in a GemSpot, pick a picture, and say, I want to share that through Facebook. Boom, you're in Facebook. That's the picture. Now type in what you want. So, assuming that this is amazing, because we're pretty sure it is, how are we going to get traction? How are we going to get people to begin using this? Well, our answer right now is to start local with our activities and our network. What we know, Ron and I, from our experience in entrepreneurship is, if it's awesome, it will get traction. And if it's not, there's no point in spending a ton of money to pay somebody for marketing. So let's start with some real grassroots interaction. Ron is a very avid participant in adventure races, running, cycling, kayaking, crazy stuff out in the woods. We've been using it in that environment, and people love it. The organizers put gemspots.com on the entry form and say, hey, all the pictures are going to be on GemSpots, check it out. And people go, and then we have spots with hundreds of pictures. Everybody just kind of seeing what each other's doing because they love this thing. And they didn't share contact info, and they don't really care that much about that person, but they kind of like to see the picture that they share. I work at Embry-Riddle. I work with students in a number of different projects, and as I've talked to students, they're like, that's pretty cool. So I'm hoping to get them to begin to become users and give us some feedback. Ian, one of our developers, is a avid autocross participant. So it might be cool to see some pictures from an autocross. You know, who hit the cone? Did you get the picture? Our friends do many things, not only the things that we know them for, but they do other things. And so if GemSpots, again, if GemSpots is cool, they'll use it. And you. I'm going to ask for a little bit of help. So, first of all, it's quiet right now in the room. Everybody's like, so we'll be more interactive. But as we go along, if you would like to be part of our story, we would love to have you. I have a sign-in sheet, name and email address, and then there's 2 boxes you can check. The first column says, email me when it's done, I might check it out. So I'm cool, but I'm not that cool. And then the second column says, I'd help you with feedback, or maybe even connecting with my groups. Let me know, keep me posted. And then the last line says, only if it's really cool. So again, we're not going to spam people, we're not going to beat you up and chase after you, but if you'd like to become aware of our progress. Basically the site I saw, Jason, I'm so happy you're here, I saw a few people already going to their phone and checking it out. A lot of the functionality is there, all of it is not as of this morning. So disclaimer, it is not fully done, but it's coming. And so that's the first column is, tell me when it's really done, when you guys think it's ready to be used, and that's the first column. Okay, so this will be here. competition. This is such a great idea. Somebody must have done this already, right? So obviously Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, that's the natural question. My thought is, I don't know about you, but only the best goes on social media. I don't want to share everything that I do or all the pictures or whatever. There's certain things I put on Facebook and there's certain things I don't. And the same thing for Instagram and Twitter. I don't know if it's the same for you, but I feel like that's a fairly universal thing. That what we're talking about, sharing a number of photos from an event, is not really going to work on that platform. Dropbox, Google Drive, there are a number of places that are independent server space that we can get access to. Dropbox lately has been trying to charge me, so I've been pushing back on them. And I know, like for my parents, for example, there's no way they're going anywhere near Dropbox. That just looks scary. So we think that that's actually not serving the same sort of universal, easy, quick, no login, free, just wide open like we are. And that's it. The magic for ours is you don't have to share contact info. The exchange between people is more arm's length. We're just simply enjoying the same event together. We love the same things. We want to see what pictures we got. But we don't have to know each other. There is no login required unless you want to create a spot. Right now, we have it set up where if you want to create a spot, you will log in. And that just basically gives us a little bit more metadata, a little bit more information about you. But for now, that's actually not primary use, and we're fine if people aren't even logging in. Our goal is to keep this free and have it be viral, where people begin to use it. And we know that there will be revenue down the road, and we can talk about that, I'm sure, if you have questions. Really quickly, our team is comprised of 4 individuals right now. Blake is not here. Blake Buck is the guy on the top. He is indeed a coding rock star. He has found some amazing stuff. Just to give you an idea of some of the magic inside, we're looking at like up to thousands of users, and all of their pictures. Our out-of-pocket is on the order of about, well, it was going to be about $7 a month, and then he did some magic, and now it's like $2.70 a month. So I mean, he's really, besides developing amazing software, found the ways to host this in ways that are incredibly efficient and very, very modern. He's at home right now with 2 very beautiful baby twins that were 2 girls that were born on Monday. So I spoke to him on the way in. But yeah, thank you for his time. Ian is with us. Ian Nguyen is our graphics designer, works at EA Sports. Ron Eglin, my good friend from the world of Startup Quest, and I don't know if anybody knows Ron from Daytona State, but entrepreneur extraordinaire, and myself. And so that's the story of GemSpots. What do you think?
Thank you, Dave. Incredible presentation. Now remember, we're here to connect, and so as you make your comment or question, make sure you introduce yourself, tell us your name and who you're with. And so, do we have any?
While he's walking, Ned, your way, I want to make a full disclaimer. Ian has a video camera going. We are videotaping this because we want to use it on our website and possibly for our own use down the road. So just be aware that there's a video going on. Good morning, Ned.
Good morning, Ned Harper with Daytona State Small Business Development Center. This is amazing. I think of things, especially in Daytona Beach, like the Rolex that's coming up, and the Bike Week, and we have so many events with so many people. Is it at a point where you could do something with the Speedway so that people could be aware that are going to the Rolex and the races and the motorcycle events, that there is this place that they can go on? Is it operational at all that they could be connected? Because I know people love to look at all the pictures from those events that other people have taken.
Well, first of all, thank you for your feedback and your positive vibe, Ned. It means a great deal coming from you. There's 2 answers to that. Yes, it is operational. And on some platforms, it's really darn good already. I'm very, very impressed by Blake. I use an Apple iPhone, and on my iPhone, it doesn't do some stuff. And so over the last couple of weeks, my good man Blake has had a wife at home that's 9.5 months pregnant, and so it's been a little bit tough. We're very close. So to get to the point of the answer, we don't think it's wise right now to blow this out big time for this year's Rolex 24 right now, because we don't want the first experience to be clunky. That would be a reason for people to reject. Now, it's also important as entrepreneurs that you can't hold something until it's perfect and never put it out there. That's a way to fail also. And so we're trying to find that fine line. We're pretty close, man. We've got the Facebook thing nailed. We've got it ready to go on Google and Apple. Most of the functionality is there. Blake has all the capabilities, so we're not lacking anything. We just need another month or so. But your comment will put wind in our sails to say, get it out there and start using it. Did I answer your question?
Yes, and we have big events coming up in a month or so, so maybe that'd be the kickoff.
Yeah.
Internationally recognized events.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can even picture it, by campground, a bunch of people in a given campground at the Daytona 500 or whatever. So, yes, good feedback. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Chris Steffen with JSS. Excellent idea. Question is, so I'm picturing like a boxing match where some people are really high up, others are really close to the ring. Someone gets the money shot of, Tyson being taken out, whoever it is. So each person has to be logged into their GemSpots app. The app has to be loaded on their phone while they're taking the pictures in order for those pictures to be, or no?
No, so you've got your phone and you're ringside and you snap the picture and you get the picture. There was no GemSpots involved in any of this. You just got the picture. And now you decide, I want to share it. You fire up GemSpots, and GemSpots says, what do you want to do? So you say, I want to upload, and it says, okay, from where? And you say, go look at my phone and find the picture, and you pull it up that way. So you don't have to be logged in.
Okay, so and then just kind of playing devil's advocate,
Sure.
How do you prevent people from saying, well, someone else is probably going to get the shot, I can just sit back and relax and watch the match, kind of counting on other people to get the shot for you, and then you might run into a situation where no one's taking pictures because everyone else is thinking that someone else is going to get the shot. So how would you?
That's kind of a human nature thing, we got to let the world sort that out. We can, I think if we present an easy platform to use and people get excited about it, we may find that people take even more pictures because they want to put it on GemSpots and see it there. One thing I want to share, because I thought you were going in a direction, there's something that I think might be interesting, and Ron has proven this, we've talked about it before, we've done it together. If we're sitting together and I upload a photo to GemSpots, you see it on your phone about like a second later. It's really cool. And so there's a little sensation of like, ooh, which is required, I think, in today's world to get something to go viral. Is like this, wow, that's kind of cool. And then you tell somebody about it. So anyway, if you're at the boxing match and someone gets the ringside shot, you see it. You're like, oh, look at that.
Good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Jason Meyer with Synergy Billing. Three different questions, thoughts. So one, in an instance where you mentioned like the Rolex 24 or something like that, there's thousands and thousands of pictures. So that scroll could get to be pretty long. Have you guys given consideration to how you might parse it, hashtag it, so that you can either filter, instead of looking at just a really long list of photos? Do you have any ideas on that?
Absolutely, yes. We've talked about that and different ways to sort. Right now, our focus is on getting it up and running and having it be something that's immediately useful. And we've got a long list of features that we'd like to add. That's one of them. There is the ability to comment already. We will be thinking through some of these different tags that can be added or attributes that can be added or ways to sort. We talked about sorting by who had uploaded it, by time of day, some very automatic things. So the user doesn't have to actually give any more of their time or energy, but yet there can be a way to sort. You can do it by geography for sure. So there's a couple different ways, and there's a feature list that we're building, and I appreciate your feedback. That's coming.
How about some sort of a rating system, so to get the engagement level, so that if this is just a money shot, and I can write it, say this was the winning picture or something, and tying that back just as an engagement strategy. Is that something you guys have thought about?
Absolutely, that's on the list. Yeah, a way to do a thumbs up. And there's a very important one that I'm sure we'll get to, and so forgive me if I preempted anybody. There needs to be a thumb down, right? What happens if somebody goes over the toilet and takes a picture of something that's not appropriate, right? Our plan is to build in a feature where the community can immediately police that. If two or three people say this is inappropriate, it's gone. And there's no big loss, right? If you lose one picture out of 100, or if somebody's a jerk and the picture gets taken down, who cares? They didn't pay to put it up, you know.
You guys might be onto something with this. So what do you think is the biggest challenge, or what is the biggest problem you're trying to solve with it at this current stage?
Thank you, that means a lot. And I thought about that last night and coming here this morning. To gain market traction, to gain awareness is tough. And I met yesterday with Michael Bowers. A lot of people know Mike Bowers, and he gave me some great feedback. He said, what's your marketing budget? And I said, well, right now we're going to go viral with our friends, and we don't have a budget. And he said, you're going to need it. And I took that to heart. And so I think we need to think through, and Ron and I, you know, Blake is a coding rock star. And it's fun when you talk to him because everything goes back to code, right? He's awesome, but we've got to think, and I'll be relying on my network to help think through how to get marketing traction efficiently. We can't just throw a lot of money at it. But somehow we've got to get with communities of event organizers, and I've been thinking about different subsets of events, you know, so going to conferences where there's a whole bunch of people that do sporting events or, you know, rock concerts or whatever, and somehow meeting one-on-one with some promoters and saying, use GemSpots, something to get, because if I think about it, for the event promoter, if I'm putting on a adventure race or an autocross or a concert, or I'm in a bar and I'm going to have cool people coming, the threshold for them to use GemSpots is 0. Right? Just write it down somewhere and make people aware of it. I'm not asking them for any money, but the question is how to efficiently get in front of enough of those people and get enough of them to say yes and use it, that it starts to get some traction. So I think that's our biggest challenge, really, is to get awareness.
Good morning, Dave. Tyler LeCompte, Networks Incorporated, here on Beach Street. Love the app, love the concept, the sharing, etc. My questions would be in terms of how data intensive or data heavy is this? Does this compare in terms of like a streaming video, streaming audio? I noticed that little uplink bar is just running while I got it going. If someone was to go to an event where they open this app up and use it pretty exclusively for an hour or so, you know, just watching what was going on everywhere else, what's their expectations in terms of data use from a mobile perspective? I mean, are you talking 1 gig, 5? You know?
So, a couple of answers. First of all, right now it's based on still photos only and not video. I use Periscope, and if anybody knows what Periscope is, it's a really amazing thing. So we're still photos only. We have used it and modeled it up to 1,000, up to like 1 million users, and it looks pretty realistic. What's amazing to me, and I'm not an expert on this, but I trust Blake, the world today is configured in a way that it never was before. The availability of cloud storage, of server space storage out there, the ability to put things there and access it for fractions of pennies, it's absolutely unreal. And so we've kind of modeled our use and a growth curve that looks like a hockey stick, of course. And we can get, you know, pretty far up that curve out of pocket between the 4 of us, you know. And so our plan is to carry that forward and see if we can get some traction and some viral use. The other thing is there's wonderful ways for us to monitor the use and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So we can see, is it actually going viral? Are these people that we've touched directly, or are these people we've never touched before that are starting to use it? And then based on that, go and get some investment, get some extra cash, and start to monetize.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to share is the site, the GemSpot doesn't stay up forever.
Yeah.
The pictures aren't interesting forever, right? Pictures are cool that day, maybe a week later, but after a while, you're on to something else, right? Well, good, so are we. We don't have to pay to store them.
No.
And so there is a built-in algorithm that we've created that allows them to sunset gently. If people are using that spot, meaning they're going there and looking, or scrolling, or they're uploading or downloading, all of those create longevity for the spots that are active. And if a spot is sitting there unused, it just quietly goes away.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Dave. Michael Zaharias, Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center. I think it's a great concept. Really love it. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about privacy, and from 2 perspectives. One, who owns the photos that are uploaded to GemSpots when we create a GemSpot? And then secondly, how do you prevent a professional photographer from putting copyrights on those photos before they upload and then maybe going after people who download and use them offline?
Yeah, it's an awesome question, and we've had that a couple times, so thank you, and we'll get it here on video. There's a couple of answers. The first and most important answer is we need to work more on that. I have a very close friend who's actually my nephew, who's a lawyer, and I've already met with him, and we're going to work on that. There is precedent out there for this. There is a privacy statement right now on the GemSpots, which says basically if you want to upload pictures, you don't get any rights to them anymore. And that's pretty standard for the internet. If you upload something on Facebook and then later decide that it's valuable because a million people like it, too bad, you put it on Facebook. So we kind of fit within that. And then there's some privacy stuff as far as what happens if bad guys are going and looking at pictures that they shouldn't be looking at, and what does that mean for the user as far as what their expected interaction is and stuff. So we're going to work through some of that. But anyway, anything specific that I didn't address, please.
Have you thought at all about creating the GemSpots as private GemSpots, giving the user a chance? I think about a wedding, right? You've got a wedding going on, professional photographers taking the professional pictures, all the other attendees are taking pictures on their cell phones. Maybe I don't want the general public to view that, but the people who I invited to my network, I would like them to use the platform so I can have that experience after the wedding is over. So if there was a way for the user to create a private GemSpot, it's only enabling the people who they want to see those pictures to see them. And then one other comment I would make real quick is on the competitor side, take a look at a program called TweetWall. It's a platform where I'm hosting an event and I can tell all of my attendees to tweet at a certain address, and it will capture and catalog all the tweets happening from all of the attendees. Very similar to what you're talking about here for obviously pictures, but for tweets. So TweetWall is that program.
Cool. Thank you. And I know Ian's getting notes, so we definitely will follow up. They could be somebody that wants to buy us. I'm so glad you talked about the privacy thing and that you helped me to get back to that point. On the way here this morning, I called Blake. Actually, I sent him a text and said, if you're awake, call me, because I know he's a parent of young babies. And he reminded me that that is on our feature list to have a private GemSpot.
Good.
That would be a login. It may in the future be an upsell, $1.99 or something. Now you can have a private GemSpot. But that's exactly right. And yes, for weddings, even for birthday parties. I don't want people looking at pictures of my kid. Now, I had this exchange with my wife last night. What about weirdos that want to look at pictures of kids? Well, are they going to spend the time to go and look around geographically and try to find the spot and then dig on all of those until they find one with weird pictures? But the answer to your question is you can make a private GemSpot, and then basically you just text that URL like you saw, the /ChromeZoom or /1MC or whatever. You text that to your friends, or you make that known through your invitation or whatever, and boom, now it's there. So yeah, good.
Great job.
It's on the feature.
Nice job.
It's sort of a microphone. It looks like a microphone.
Good morning, Jane Morris with Cogent Solar. My son is a professional photographer, and just say someone does put the money shot up there, they've thrown away their rights, I guess. If someone, Time Magazine, saw a shot and they wanted to get back to the person who took that to go through it appropriately, is there a way for them to go back and identify who that person is?
As of right now, no, unless that person had logged in, I guess. If the person did interact with the site through that very minimal interaction of just putting something up there, we know their cell phone and we know where that phone was when they uploaded. That's about all we know. We don't know their name or their address. So that would have to be at the login level if somebody wanted to, to post it to. If somebody logged in, then we would know whatever they'd given us during the login, their email address, their cell phone.
Hi, my name is John Kasu. I'm a software engineer at NASCAR, and I'm starting a startup called SalesSense, and I'll be presenting here next month sometime.
Awesome.
One of my questions I have for you is, what is the photo actually tied to? Is it specifically to the location, or is it to the account itself? in terms of sharing. So if you have a GemSpot and I want to see yours, can I go to your account, or do I have to go to the location and specifically filter through those photos?
You go to my GemSpot, it's tied to the GemSpot. There's ways to find my GemSpot. So you can find it by geography. You can find it by scanning around on the map, and you can pinch the map, and then you can scroll, and you can get to where you can see the spot and touch it. Or if you know me, I can just tell you how to get to my spot directly. So you don't have to find it through GPS, but the photo is tied to the GemSpot. And so it's basically addressed on that server to the GemSpot.
And so if anybody, we talked about Rolex 24, if I'm in Seattle, but I want to see pictures for the Rolex 24, I can just navigate on the map to that location.
Totally.
And look at all those photos.
Totally. Yeah. And there's no limit. With Periscope, I don't know if Periscope has changed. We did Periscope at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, my wife and I last year, and it was only up to 200 users. I think there's a limit, and I did one for a Rush concert. I was watching the Rush concert live with Periscope, but it was up to 200 users. So I don't know if that's gone away. Ours doesn't have any kind of limit like that.
How do you, in terms of GPS and setting of a radius, you have on your map there a slight radius. You know, the Rolex 24 is a large capacity. Is it going to be multiple spots on the map, or do you have a set radius to categorize an event?
Each person that creates a GemSpot, there is a default size that comes up on your GPS, on your phone, and then you can grab it. It's got 4 hooks. You can scale it, so you can make it bigger or smaller. And so I can imagine an event like the Rolex 24, there might be multiple. Just like with Periscope, when I logged on to the LA Coliseum where they were doing the final show, there were a bunch of different people on Periscope. I clicked on each one until I found the best one. And so it would be similar to that at a big event like the Rolex 24 or something like that.
Hi, Kevin Manley with the Exit Advisors. Great presentation. Definitely applaud what you've done so far. It's very well thought out. One comment I was going to make was, I'm sure you do have a coding rock star. There are a lot of coding rock stars out there. And in some sense, I don't want to make this sound negative, but in some sense, you've done the easy part in creating this. You know what the hard part is, and I do agree with Mike Bauer that it's really got to do a lot of marketing for this. I actually have a lot of thoughts. I don't have time for them.
You promised to pick me apart, so come on.
Tyler did make a good point. Not that I'm surprised Tyler made a good point. Actually I started using Google Photos just recently. And I uploaded probably 90,000 family photos. And I know that's extreme, beyond what your first event's going to be, but I let my daughter play with my phone the other night and look at Google Photos. And I realized after about a half an hour, she had burned through about 2 gigabytes of data, just scrolling through photos. So that is actually a legitimate point of people are going to start going, wow, I just really burned through a lot of data scrolling through all these photos at the event. Maybe we'll do it later. It might not be a real-time kind of thing. But I think that is a good point. Mike, I kind of like the idea of it at limiting photos. Someone over there brought the point of what's going to keep people from not taking as many photos. I think it might be a good thing. Everybody doesn't have their photos out at the event all the time. Everybody thinks they have to take the same picture over and over again. Instead, I might go, no, I don't need to get every shot. So I almost like the idea of being a way to limit photos. But my question was, the guy in the front row, how is he incentivized to upload his money shot?
He can't help it. Come on, we're human. He can't help it. Look at me.
I mean, what's his incentive to actually, I guess, to be a part of the group,
Absolutely correct. There is no incentive beyond human nature, and it will evolve as it goes. I think, my gut is, and I want this feedback, we could do a show of hands. My gut is, if GemSpots reaches some level of critical mass where it becomes somewhat known, at least the hip insiders are aware that GemSpots exists, that it becomes cool to put a killer picture up on GemSpots. There is the ability to comment. I've been careful, guys, we don't want to try to be Facebook, right? Yes, that'd be great, but whatever, let's keep ourselves in check. But there is the ability to comment, there will be the ability to do a thumbs up. And I think human nature is somewhat to share, particularly for weird, quirky stuff that's interesting, right? That's the new transaction. Kids today don't watch television, they look on their computer for weird stuff to look at, So that's kind of what I'm going for, but I'm listening, I'm open-minded.
Actually, I did have one more comment. That was kind of a bigger thought. When we brought up NASCAR, the times I've talked to NASCAR, the most important thing to NASCAR is NASCAR and their brand.
Right, of course.
And they want to make sure their brand is protected, their images are protected. They're probably not going to be excited at all about GemSpots as a name. They're going to make sure this is licensed, branded NASCAR. They're going to utilize the technology, but I think they're going to be very concerned about how they're presented and how their imagery is presented. So, and I would get on that right away. I think that is what you do need to do, as Ned pointed out, is just go off and try to make that deal right now. That is your marketing push without a budget. Other than ways that somebody else, some other rock star is going to come along and create this too, and they already have, and they're just going to get the money and they're going to do the marketing.
Let me clarify that, because I want to make sure I got both sides. So first of all, I agree with you on NASCAR. I worked there for years and was interacting with it at the highest levels, and you're absolutely right. But they can't control their fans today. Their fans are taking pictures of stuff anyway. So this is just allowing those to end up in a central clearinghouse. Is that an acceptable response to the first part, that NASCAR would love to control it, but they can't? And then your other side was that you recommend to us that we try to build that relationship. NASCAR needs younger people, they need new media, and they might actually like this. Is that where you were going?
I would say if you want them to actively participate, they better be in control of the brand. I don't think they're going to jump on board the GemSpots, but everybody else is doing random pictures. They may let it happen, they can't think about it. But I think to get them to really participate, it better be about their brand, not about your brand.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I actually want to add, this is I'm going to get to ask a question. So the way I know GemSpots really well. Put it that way. Actually, I see that NASCAR needs this. Right now, NASCAR cannot control the pictures that get done. But if NASCAR goes out and creates the NASCAR GemSpot for the race, they can control the pictures that are basically publicly disseminated. They actually, for people that run large events, this is almost a critical thing that you've got to have, because this does give you control. Think about this. If you're running an event...
The main thing with NASCAR is they want it to line their pockets. And I mean that in a good way, but they want to be getting money off it. They want to be controlling it. They want to be able to have the rights. And the other thing about NASCAR is they won't spend any time paying attention to anything that doesn't have an immediate way to put money in their pockets, because they want to focus their time and energy on something else that does. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Hello, Joe.
Yeah, I don't see. They get nothing.
But it's a very good idea. I love it. I met Dave about 4 years ago when I started helping TP to go. I have about 25 things to add, so I don't want to take up too much time. But Tyler brought up a great point. I'm wondering if it's part of this guy's photo sharing thing. And Kevin definitely brought up some good points. And maybe we should have a net neutrality digital rights forum after one of these. Today probably would have been the perfect time to do it. Dave has seen I did the world's first cloud TV keynote. Dave has seen it. Especially Ron over there, I'd be glad to help you guys, Dave. I'm actually helping AdMagine Media startup. My partner's coming down this month. Everything you talked about today is really a requirement for every industry and every market going forward, because 94% of content is either high definition static pictures or videos. But with that said, Dave was absolutely right. TV to Go is a perfect example of it. We've had 4 or 5 products. These guys are not in the United States. I'm trying to get them to launch. And you can't wait too long to launch. So you have to launch when you have a great idea like this. And you can't launch too early though, just like Dave said. And with that said, there's a second edition of this book coming out. I'm actually in it. It's called 21st Century Television, The Players, the Viewers, the Money. I've met Dr. Frank Aycock at the NAB, and I highly recommend that you go to the NAB with me this year, and you if you want your product to be successful. And else in here. But what I'm getting at is TV to go has waited too long to launch. We should have been the company that just went into 130 countries like Netflix just did. There is several competitors there, but you have an opportunity to take it to the next level, and it also has to do with what I'm doing with Ad Magic Media, and I know we've talked about this before. All the digital rights stuff has everything to do with net neutrality, and whoever brought it up in here, whoever takes the picture owns it. The reason Periscope, I've done a lot of Razorback shows from the Bank and Blues on Periscope since it's open, since it came out. The reason Periscope is limited is because we're getting into cable television, retrans rights, all this stuff is in this book. The second edition is coming out this week.
Cool.
Dr. Frank called me last week and said he put me in the book.
Cool.
This
I want to see the book for sure.
But the reason Periscope limits it is because they're getting into violating the cable retrans rights and stuff.
Yep.
But the bottom line is, the FCC is in the process this year of coming out with new rules for copyrights. And basically, if you take the picture, you own it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get into legalities and other stuff.
Let me jump in real quick, Joe, because I want to make sure we can get other people involved as well. I definitely, I'd like to chat with you offline, and we've been looking, net neutrality and some of the privacy issues. The other thing is, as far as competitors, found a new one last night. It's called dropevent.com, very similar to what we're doing. So that tells me two things. Number one, if you've got competitors, that's a good thing, because it means you're actually doing something meaningful. And number two, right now, they've got like 300 likes on Facebook. They're not that far ahead of us. And so if we make good moves and surround ourselves with good partners, we can go fast. I don't think that there's any company or entity in this space that's actually achieved critical mass, because here's 50 very bright people that are members of the world. None of us are using a way to do this. So anyway, I think the opportunity is still there. You're right about competition, and you're certainly right about moving fast. Lou.
Dave, great presentation, and I really like your product. Lori Sandman Intellectual Property. Traction, I was thinking about traction, and I was thinking about similar words that you used to, I don't know if you've met Corrine Heck
I know Corrine very
Design Floral. I was just thinking that she promotes a great deal of, she does a lot of event planning, promoting, and through her website, you might be able to gain some traction working with the people that she works with, and it's a good way to be able to maybe accelerate both your businesses.
I love that idea. Yeah, Corrine is amazing. I saw her just a couple days ago. She's a very close friend. It's a great idea. And by the way, I'm going to come and talk to you about IP at some point. You're on my list. Okay.
Hi, my name is Art Zimmerman. I'm a consultant with the Small Business Development Center at Daytona State College. I'm surprised no one's asked this so far, but how are you planning on monetizing this?
Don't answer that question. Just kidding.
No, it's a very good question. So we've talked about that a lot. We talked about charging $1.99. Actually, when I started, it was $9.99 to get GemSpots. Raise your hand if you would spend $9.99 for something you hadn't used before. Right. So $9.99 went away. And then slowly we worked our way down to $2.99 and $1.99. And I said, wait a minute. And I started talking to my neighbors. I'm hanging out with my neighbors, drinking beer in the front yard. And they were like, I don't pay for apps ever. And I realized, I don't either. Like, if I'm paying for an app, it's because I've used it for a while and I love it so much, I'm willing to give them $2, which is ridiculous, because I go to the grocery store and I'm throwing away food. Anyway, whatever. So it's a different economy, right? Back to your question of how do you make money. It's free. And the reason why it's free is because we want traction. If we get traction, if we achieve critical mass, if we have friends, moms telling moms, and friends telling friends, check this out, it's cool, and it takes off, the money's going to be there. The answer in some of the ways that we've looked at it, number one, it's very easy to stick advertising in the scroll, right? Facebook does that. To me, it's not super offensive. I know I'm being advertised to, whatever, I just scroll by. So that's one answer. Secondly, you can stick interstitials in there. So you go to a GemSpot and then a thing pops up. I went to a site last night that's similar space to where we are, and it hit me with a page that I had to close, and then I went in and there was another page I had to close, and this thing popped up, and I'm like, holy crap, you're over-advertising me to death. I'm never coming back here again. The last one is businesses. If I've got a business, and I know that having a GemSpots is going to add to my customer's experience, or I'm an event planner, and the fact that there's a central clearinghouse for pictures where I can see all the best shots and it's kind of fun, I'll pay $20 for that, right? Or $10 for that as an organizer or as a business. If I've got a bar and I'm holding a special event, or we even talked about a radio station is doing a spot, right? The Rock of Daytona sets up their little easy up, and they go out somewhere and they're like, hey, come and check us out. We're down at the car dealer or whatever, right? So like you go to their GemSpot, you check out all the people that came to talk with the DJs, right? Like any of those. And so there's lots of ways to get little bits of money, and if this thing takes off, it's going to have value. There's also the metadata. So depending on what the login scheme is, and as we add in features, if we get to a threshold where people are willing to log in, minimal login, easy password rules, we're not going to do the whole 12-letter crap. Once you get login, you get more metadata, and now you know a lot about those people. And there's a whole economy out there, Kevin knows it well, I'm sure Jason knows it well, where you have a mass of user data that tells, we already know what they're interested in, we already know where they are, that's already value. And so I think if we can get to critical takeoff, we would be looking at either monetizing that or being acquired. Yes.
Lori McMullen. I have some question. If I have a GemSpot for an organization, but it ebbs and flows, maybe it's not going to have a population of a lot of photos consistently. If I pay a premium, would I be able to hold on to that GemSpot? If it's not going to be some, instead of it dying off, like you said, would there be a potential to pay a premium so that you have that GemSpot when you want it? You can into it somehow to promote past events. But say you're doing something every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's a restaurant all the time.
Right. I love it. It sounds great. Yes, we'll add it to the list of features. Yeah, I mean, it's all about, this interaction is exactly what we need, right? Different ideas, different ways of seeing this that adapts it to what the real world needs. We don't know what everybody needs, so that's a great identification of a need. Yes.
Hi, I'm Ron, and I presented a few weeks ago on text event picks.
Oh yeah, we were kind of introduced last night electronically. How are you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Wed Picks
Yep.
is another app. I will check that out. Okay. What was my other thought? Okay, so do you have a way to break it up in time chunks? Units of time? Today, yesterday, this hour?
Okay, so that relates to the sorting. Right now, that's not built in. That could very easily be added. We had that. It's kind of on the shelf. It's one of the features to add. Back to Jason's comment of what if you get 1,000 pictures, how do you sort them?
And then a potential monetization could be tipping. That's something I've looked at.
Nice photo, here's $1.
What?
Just over $1 and maybe for 1,000 votes.
Okay.
What's that? Like
you load $1 and maybe it's worth 1,000 votes.
Oh, I see.
Taking that a step further, what if you could earn gems? What if you built your own kind of currency system? And I could earn gems for...
Gem points,
Yeah, and that could be exchanged for something. For me as a business, if I wanted to sponsor, I wanted to make sure that Synergy Billing was at the top of this GemSpot, right? And I would put some money in there, which then can convert over to gems for the users. And it's an engagement strategy to get them involved and hooked on it. And they can start accumulating gems, which could be exchanged for whatever. Maybe it turns into the next Bitcoin, who knows?
Right,
You're earning gems, which I don't think the competitors are thinking about it in those terms. They're trying to create engagement because people love the dudes, which is great. But thinking outside the box, what is another engagement strategy to get the users really involved? So it's called GemSpot. Is there a way that you can create some sort of internal gem currency?
What you would need for that is a system called Ripple.
Yep. Okay. Ripple. Thank you. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm going to do something fun. So I'm going to have you raise your hand in just a second. Let me define the raise of your hand. First of all, thank you for the idea. It seems really cool. What we've talked about in our Sunday meetings out at Ron's house is keeping this as simple as we can and sort of stripping it down from a coding point of view and from a user point of view. That when that first contact happens, I want it to be so stinking easy that their finger falls to everything they want to do and they walk away going, wow, that was cool. My concern is if I build more around it and the conclusion is I'm not good at this, then I won't come back. So with that little bit of and I'm not pushing back at all because I love the concept of engagement and making it fun. But raise your hand if you think that adding in an interactive gaming gem transaction would be a benefit to GemSpots. Okay. And raise your hand if you think that would make it a little bit more hard to get your head around and maybe you wouldn't come back necessarily.
What if it was simple, it's just whoever's photo got the most votes, got gems?
Well, that's what I would do. Instead of, you know how they use hearts on Twitter or thumbs up for Facebook, I would make gems your.
Whoever gets the most, likes on that wins gems.
I love
Or
that.
gems. So that was really simple.
I changed my hand to the.
You like, okay. Vote has been moved.
Now it seems like it's.
Yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate. You don't have to upload money and this and that. It's
Right.
just the sponsor, some of that gets converted into dollars, which then converts to points, which you can exchange for whatever.
I love it. I promised myself coming in here that I was going to keep an open mind, and I love that idea. I will tell you
Who
that
else is doing that?
we haven't thought all that through, but we're capturing this, and we're going to work on it. I think it's a great idea. Yes, sir.
My name is Rick Rivers. My second time here. I own a large flower shop in Ormond, so obviously we take a ton of pictures. And right now we have to text them. And I've also written 2 books on marketing. I travel around the country as a motivational speaker to florists. And like I'm going to Pensacola this weekend for 200 florists. We have actively been looking, I've been looking for years for a product that if Jason sends his wife flowers, the driver's at the door, providing she's dressed appropriately. The driver will take a picture of those flowers, text it back to me. If it's inappropriate, I keep it. No. And then I text it to him, so from a customer service standpoint, he looks at his phone, he sees a picture of his wife getting flowers, but can these be mobile? Because in the floral business, what we like to do is if my driver is going to 10, 20 different houses every day, and I open a GemSpot, and I can tell people, go to gemspot.com to view your photos. We tried an opt-in network, and that just didn't work. It was people trying to opt in to 2539. It was a headache.
Right.
But something like this where it can be shared on a mobile thing would be great. And like the florist this weekend, part of my presentation that I do to every convention I go to is they're saying, how do we get more interactive with social media as a bricks and mortar store versus the big 800 flowers and people like that are working in their basement in their underwear just gathering orders and sending them out. They have no way to be relevant to the customer, whereas we do. So is it mobile?
Yeah, it is. There's a way to use it.
So GemSpot will follow her around?
So Ron taught us this.
Okay, so I am a mobile GemSpot. I actually am a mobile GemSpot.
Look at
well,
can you see the flowers?
If you go to gemspots.com/Ron Eaglin, that's my personal GemSpot, but it follows me around.
So if my driver types in her name,
Wherever I am.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not wherever I am. It's wherever my phone is where it is.
Is the physical
Yeah,
location.
I do not have a echolocator.
But more importantly, and I want to get control of the conversation really quick because we're coming up on 10 and I don't want to lose you. You, please, put on here because I want to follow up with you. Anybody here that loves this, please write your name and your email address on the way out. There are actually 2 sheets. We can set them on 2 different tables so there's not a big line. Thank you for that idea. It's a wonderful idea. And yes, the GemSpot can follow you. It lives in the cloud. So you can access it from home, you can access it from your phone. This idea of it following you, your phone is just moving around. But the GemSpot exists out in the ether, and it can follow it, and you can do gemspots.com/ the name of your driver, and boom, everything they upload is there. They can get it from home, and you can get it from wherever you are. All you do is type in gemspots.com/ their name, boom, you're looking at their GemSpot. It's super, super easy.
Thank you, Dave. Incredible presentation.